When Subaru revealed the new WRX, fans lost their minds. It was obvious that Subaru ignored the passionate tuning community that helped cement the brand's success. Critics argued the car was too soft, too quiet, and too regular traffic. The approach felt like a complete 180, making an enthusiast car that prioritized casuals put brand loyalty, millions of dollars, and Subaru's reputation at risk. To enthusiasts, it felt like the WRX had grown up and not in a good way. Yet somehow, Subaru accidentally gave tuners the perfect car in a world where boring often means business. And part of business is knowing your audience. And for decades, the WRX is built for die-hard motorsport fans. By always leading with performance first, it became the enthusiast car. It was stiff, it was loud, it was borderline impractical, but that's exactly what made it special in the first place. A machine you can rally on the weekend and daily drive on Monday. Subaru built its reputation brick by giving fans exactly what they wanted, and people respected that. Respect, though, is hard to earn and easy to lose. So when they unveiled their strategy for the 2022 WRX, it was clear Subaru was gambling with trust, the trust of their most loyal fan base. First impressions of the car screamed that enthusiasts were no longer the priority. The new WRX generation looked softer, more casual, and more detached from the history that got Subaru here in the first place. Controversial fender flares and a safer, bulkier exterior gave the car an SUV-like appearance, blending it in with the rest of Subaru's practical lineup. Marketing focused on tech, comfort, and practicality, words that had never described a WRX before. When they finally addressed performance, it only twisted the knife, calling the new CVT a Subaru performance transmission, dropping the beloved STI model, and softening the suspension killed what little hope enthusiasts had left. Subaru was speaking loud and clear. The WRX was no longer the same car, and it was time for the enthusiast base to decide if they were still the same buyer. So what was Subaru thinking? The backlash was loud, but the logic was simple. More and more people were buying the WRX as a daily driver, not a track toy. These drivers valued comfort, technology, reliability, and fuel economy over raw performance, and Subaru saw the numbers. A softer ride, a cleaner design, and a CVT option had more mass appeal. It wasn't betrayal, it was strategy, a calculated move to keep the WRX viable in an ever-changing market. And Subaru wasn't alone. The entire performance segment is under pressure. Stricter emissions, tighter safety regulations, and rising development costs. Even icons like the Civic Si and the Golf GTI have softened their edges to survive. Subaru just happened to take it the farthest, and for that they took the most heat. Many fans clung to the past, reminiscing through rose-tinted glasses. Others ignored the noise and decided to experiment with Subaru's new recipe, even if it seemed bland at first glance. But for those who took the plunge, something unexpected happened. They discovered that Subaru had accidentally built the perfect platform for enthusiasts. And that realization came when owners popped their hoods. Underneath the hood sat an FA24 engine, an engine that was borrowed from an SUV. At first, it sounds wrong, but in practice, it was brilliant. Originally released for the 2019 model year Ascent, the FA24 was a torquey, larger displacement 4-cylinder designed for reliability and heavy use. So hearing it was repurposed for a sports sedan raised some eyebrows. But what made the engine special wasn't just the displacement, it was how overbuilt it was. Subaru quietly reinforced the internals, improved the heads, and designed it to handle SUV level stress. Tuners quickly realized what that meant. This engine could take a lot of boost like nothing before it. In a way, Subaru built reliability into performance, something the previous generations never fully mastered. The FA24 was designed for flexibility between models, and with a few small tweaks, it became the perfect successor to the FA20 Turbo. It offered a broader torque curve, stronger internals, and a bigger foundation that begged to be pushed. Now, it's super common to see VBWRXs making 300 to 400 wheel horsepower on a basic bolt-on and tune. For tuners, it was a dream come true, and a modern WRX that practically invited modification. And then came the suspension. What many called soft and numb turned out to be a hidden blessing. That compliant setup became the perfect baseline for enthusiasts from any motorsport discipline, rally, time attack, autocross, to tune the car and make it exactly how they want it. Lower trims too offered huge value, leaving more money in the pockets of fans to dive into the thriving aftermarket, supported by titans such as Cobb, ETS, Grimspeed, and IAG. Suddenly, enthusiasts realized something remarkable. The car Subaru softened was more tunable than ever. All of these changes only scratched the surface, but together they create a softer baseline, one that handed creative control back to the drivers themselves. But the downside? It unintentionally split the once unified WRX community into two distinct groups, and today that divide couldn't be any more clear. There are really two kinds of WRX drivers now: the casual daily drivers who value reliability and practicality, and then the tuners who live for customization, performance, and individuality. You see it online every day: a stock VB parked at a coffee shop next to a slammed one on coilovers and a catback. Both owners think they get the WRX. Social media amplifies the divide, and daily drivers call tuners reckless while tuners call dailies posers. But ironically, that tension is what keeps the WRX culture alive. Two sides keeping the conversation going. Both perspectives are valid, and while they may not agree on what the true WRX experience is, together they represent a full spectrum of the WRX's identity. Because Subaru has always been a brand for the people, and part of car ownership is driving it the way that fits your lifestyle the best. And the soul of the old school WRX isn't dead, it's just been distilled into a new foundation, one that lets you shape the car's personality through factory options or aftermarket upgrades. This generation represents something new. Individuality matters more than factory intent. Subaru didn't betray enthusiasts, they built a platform that gives the freedom while welcoming a new audience of casual drivers. That's not dilution, that's expansion. And honestly, we should be proud. What was once a niche cult car has become mainstream enough that even casual buyers can feel an essence of that old motorsport DNA, even if it's not the way that we predicted. Subaru made the brand more approachable for the average driver while handing over the reins of control to the enthusiasts who want to go deeper. Built for them, perfect for us. And maybe, just maybe, Subaru actually knows what they're doing. The release of the new Performance B STI concept proves they're still listening. If this trend continues, the next generation could bridge that gap completely. A car that satisfies both the casual commuter and the die-hard tuner. The WRX might just be entering its most interesting chapter yet. And think about it, a car that can be a comfortable daily driver on Monday, a weekend track monster on Saturday, and a rolling showcase of aftermarket creativity any day in between. And that's what makes the VB WRX truly unique. It's a blank canvas, a car that doesn't tell you how to drive it, it lets you decide. The future of Subaru tuning could be brighter than ever. With a platform this robust and flexible, the only limits are our imagination and budget. Boost levels, suspension setups, wheels, brakes, turbos, intakes, every system has room to grow. Enthusiasts are now in charge of the WRX's destiny. And that's why the community is split, because both sides are right. Both the casual and the hardcore owners contribute to the WRX's living legacy. It's no longer about uniformity, it's about choice, creativity, and a shared love for something that's still unmistakably Subaru. If you agree that the new WRX has been a blessing in disguise, hit subscribe. I've got several videos about this platform on my channel that I guarantee you're gonna love. And if you disagree, tell me why in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Either way, the WRX is still alive, just in a different form. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.